It was the fourth and final live show for the finals of America's Got Talent this season, as we had the final 11 acts all competing for the last three spots in the semi-finals. And of course, the live show golden buzzer was up for grabs for the final time, quarterfinals, and it was Howie's turn to press it this time, and he pressed it for a brilliant act compared to the first 3 weeks. So I thought were good, but this act that got it was be above and beyond. That's what I meant to say. But regardless, it was still a great episode. We had some ups, some downs, and of course, I had a great time watching this week's episode. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into this week's recap. So, it's the final live show for the quarterfinals for this season of AGT. I can't believe how quick it's gone by this season. It's been absolutely crazy. Now, next week is the semi-finals, which is just mental to think about. And it was a really, I will say this week definitely had some ups and downs compared to the first 3 weeks, but it was still a good episode overall. I still really enjoyed it. But also we got some breaking news as we had a contestant withdraw just before the semi-finals this week, and that was Mastermind. Yes, you heard me right, Mastermind, the AI magician. If you don't know who I'm on about, he was basically the guy who had the big, like, he was wearing a big helmet, and he basically did magic involving around AI, which I thought was very clever. And I was very excited to see what he was going to do in the semi-finals. But Terry announced in the results show this week that he had to withdraw from the competition due to personal reasons. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why he had to drop out all of a sudden. But my thoughts are with Mastermind, and I hope he's doing okay. And my best wishes go out to him at the time of recording this review. So my prayers go out to you, Mastermind. I gutted for you that you had to withdraw from the competition, of course, but yeah, but on with the show, I guess. So that means we have 11 now acts for the quarter of the semi-finals. Will we get a replacement for him? I don't know. I hope we do. But anyways, I think let's just get straight into this week's recap of course the finals four. So let's get straight into it. Kicking off the night, we had Crash Adams, the vocal duo, who I think we all know. We've seen them on social media many times before. And when they announced they were doing the show this year, I was actually very excited because I've seen these guys on social media numerous times, and I've always loved their music. So in the auditions, they performed their original song called "Optimist." In the auditions in week 7. And I really enjoyed it as well. I thought it was a great song. I loved, the whole presence about them. I loved his voice as well, and it had the drummer there. But so yeah, that was what they did for the auditions. And let's talk about the performance they did for the quarterfinals. So for them, they did an original song again called New Hearts, which, to be honest with you, I had a feeling they were going to do that song because I know they'd been posting that song many times on their social media platforms. So I was kind of thinking to myself, yeah, they're going to do that song. And I was pretty excited for this, actually, because, I've heard this song many times on their social media platform. So I was really excited to hear about it. And I will say, I think um, while I think they both had great presence about them, the band was very good. I personally thought the vocals this time around were a bit shaky, to be honest with you. They weren't terrible, but it felt very kind of like, you know. And also, I've actually read that people felt it was auto tuned from in the auditions, which I can honestly see. I actually can see, but this time around it wasn't quite the best as well as the audition. So Sophia mentioned that she understood why they were very popular on the internet. They're fun and they're different and they have their own lane. Harry mentioned that they're great, that they could be stars, but to be truth, um, excuse me, he mentioned that it felt the B side to their audition song. Mel mentioned that the song itself was great, but she did feel that the vocals started shaky, which I do agree with Mel, to be honest. And Simon mentioned that it's live, it's hard, and that they made a really smart decision to coming on the show. And he thought what's really great about them is they know who they are, which is, I actually can agree with that. Actually, I think they're in a lane which they know they are in. But I think overall, like, it wasn't a bad performance whatsoever. I thought his vocals at times was solid. I thought they were solid overall, but at the other times, I just felt that the vocals overall were a bit. Uh, It wasn't bad, but it felt a bit shaky. Like it wasn't like flat out terrible, but just the vocals were really like wobbly at times. And I am a bit gutted with them because I think they are a talented duo, but I feel like this week was not their night compared to the audition. That's a shame because I really liked their performance. I loved their audition. I've seen their music on social media. I actually follow them as well, which is awesome. So, Crash Adams, if you see this, I think you guys are extremely talented, and I hope this is not the last time that we see of you because I do think you guys are an extremely talented group, and I will definitely listen to your music again, no matter what. So, yeah, massive respect to them overall. But I still thought it was really good. The band was fantastic, and the band was really good. And I will say this now: this is nowhere near in the same wheelhouse as Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. Let me get that out there, like because Tom Sandoval's vocals were absolute rubbish in the quarterfinals. He was terrible. Where Crash here, I thought was his vocals were overall good, but were shaky. But compared to Tom's vocals, they were all over the place. That's the best. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, because I think they're way better than Tom Sandoval. Let's be honest. So again, I still really enjoyed this performance. It was a good start to the show overall, and yeah, I enjoyed this performance to kick off the night. Now, next up, we had magician Zach Mears, the magician from episode 1, who I like to call the Dustin Tavella 2.0, even though I don't think he's as bad as Dustin Tavella, because I think Dustin Tavella, in my opinion, is one of the worst winners of AGT, in my opinion. So in his audition, he basically did a routine about being a father, and he involved the audience, in the studio and the people watching at home with the random objects, which involved a red teddy bear. Which, by the way, I will say I actually did this as well. I did it along watching the show. I did it exact routine as everyone else was doing at home and in the studio, and I actually got on the red bear. I promise you, I was not I was not, I promised you, I had no idea what was going to happen. Okay, so I'm clarifying that. Yeah, so I promise you, I did that, and yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that matter. So his quarterfinal performance had him doing another interactive magic routine with the audience and the judges. This time around I didn't do it as well. I didn't do it interact with it as much because in the UK where I'm from, it's like a 5 hour time difference. So in America, it was like about 8 something, and there was like 1 something in the morning while I was watching them. So let's talk about his performance. So he basically invited the judges, audience, and even the viewers at home to make a mess with him. So basically, he gave everybody 4 paper cards with animals on them. He then instructed everyone to shuffle the cards down face and rip them in half. And he then took everyone through a long series of steps, shuffling, reshuffling, discarding the cards, and at one point, sitting on one half of the cards and then tossing half the cards in the air, 1 or 2. But this is where it gets interesting because so basically, it kind of got a bit repetitive, and I felt like it was dragging too long. And that's when Howie buzzed him. The result of the trick, that the half card, everybody was, so basically, then the result of the trick was that the half cards in everyone's hands was the half card on everyone's seats, matching to form pictures. And I must admit that was a very satisfying payoff. I will say I felt it was it was a bit like it dragged on too long, and that for Howie didn't work for him. He had the one half and then so basically Howie had. Basically, Zach went to Howie and then Howie mentioned he had one half of a gorilla and one half of a kangaroo. But this is when the real stuff happens here, because never losing one smile despite the buzzer, he then explained that anything is possible, and even a half gorilla and half kangaroo, and basically a giant stuffed plushie, which is basically half kangaroo and half gorilla, came down from the ceiling. And literally, Howie took back his ex immediately after after the whole trick. He mentioned that he basically took it back his ex after the performance. So good on you, Howie. He really changed your opinion on that. So that was really cool. And honestly, even though I wasn't interacting with this, I'm curious to know, were any of you guys in the audience when during Zach's performance? Let me know. I'd love to hear if you were there and you were involved with his routine. I'd love to hear that. But honestly, I actually really enjoy this performance. Like, I understand people are thinking he's like Dustin Tavella 2.0, which I can see that. For me, I think he's way better than Dustin Tavella. That's just my honest opinion. People might disagree with me, but that's okay. So, um, so basically, how he mentioned that it seems like it took longer to create the magic than to build the IKEA lounge because IKEA is basically what they're sponsored. There in the results show, they're sitting on the IKEA couch, chilling out, and he demanded the X to be taken away, which was awesome. Mel mentioned that it was brilliant. Simon mentioned that it wasn't a trick, it was magic, and it was shocking what he did. And Sophia mentioned she thought it was too complicated, too much instructions at the beginning. She got a little worried, but she was so glad it turned out even better. So, and I overall can agree with the judges because I do think while the trick itself was a bit long, all the reshuffling, shuffling, sitting on them, tossing them in, all the cards in the air, that felt a bit. I was dragging on a bit. But once he got into the groove, when he started doing the revealing, and of course the big gorilla kangaroo thing was there, it was honestly fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And I think I have to say, what I love most about him is not only the way he kind of interacts with the audience in a way, in such a way I've not seen before on AGT. I love the way he interacts with the audience, the judges, the viewers watching at home. As that's the type of magic I had never seen with him doing that type of magic. I've never seen anything like that, which was very impressive. So, and I liked that. But not only, he made it more fun as well. He makes it engaging. But you can also tell he's a true family man as well. He mentioned he has a new daughter now, which is amazing. So my massive congratulations to you, Zach, and your family. That's absolutely fantastic news. And honestly, at heart, you can tell he's a real family man, and just he's got a wonderful family, and he's a brilliant dad as well. So I have so much respect for Zach as well. And can't just say now, I can't be the only one who thinks this, but am I the only one who wants a legitimate? I want a literal thing of this. I want a big stuffed plushie of a gorilla dressed as a kangaroo. Like, I can't be the only one who wants. Look at this. Look how cool this is. Look at this dude. He is literally having. He is vibing now with that kangaroo outfit. He is. Look at like. I mean, look how brilliant that is. That is absolutely brilliant. I love that. I love that. But honestly, I'm so happy that the act went well at the end for Zach. I actually thought he did really well. I'm very happy for him, and I honestly thought it was a great act overall. So, massive congrats to Zach for managing to pull it off, and of course to his new daughter. It's absolutely incredible news for him. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the performance. It was a really great act, in my opinion. So yeah, I overall really enjoyed it. Now we go on to the TT boys, the acrobatic duo, who are the act I was the most looking forward to seeing this week, and I was just so excited for when they were going to be performing on the show tonight this week, and it really was so worth it. So in the auditions, they basically did a fast-paced kind of acrobatic routine where they were like on a what's this called? What's this called? I can't remember what it's called, but like a little seaty thing. That's not the word, seaty thing. That's such a terrible description for that word. But you know what I mean. And they were basically doing flips, acrobatics. One of them was doing like a helicopter thing there. So basically, they did a fast-paced acrobatic routine to "I Gotta Go My Way" by Lenny Kravitz on a elevating platform, and they did it. So I think the tricks, I must admit, were a little bit similar to the auditions, but what made the act even juicier was that they added a blindfold in towards the end, and they basically did it completely blindfolded, and then they did the acrobatics again, the spinning and the helicopter circle motion. And let me tell you, I mean, I think this is one of the best acts of the season in terms of how much an act's progressed this year. Like, this was above and beyond what I've seen this year. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch. I honestly could not stop, like, having my mouth engaged. I was absolutely floored by the performance. So Mel mentioned that she felt sick and exhausted, and it was out of this world. And then Simon mentioned it, and that like this, it creates so much excitement with them, brave, respect, and he thought it was brilliant. Sophia mentioned it was exciting, dramatic, dangerous, and they stepped it up more than the original, and it was a perfect act. And this is where the audience were chanted for the golden buzzer to be pressed for them, and even myself was actually doing the same because the energy that they were doing for it really felt like when Be Unique Crew on their audition, if you remember, after their audition, the audience were going crazy for them and they were demanding for the golden buzzer to be pressed, but they didn't have any golden buzzers at the time, which I still think they could have done a group golden buzzer for them, in my opinion. But that's just how I feel, you know. But how he mentioned it was amazing, it was wow, terrifying, and it was a step up, and he didn't know what to do, and he mentioned that he can't do it, the golden buzzer yet, because it was quite early on, despite the audience's demands, as you may say it or call it. But yeah, honestly, I actually would have liked to have seen them get the golden buzzer, especially after that performance, which was just absolutely out of this world. It really was just phenomenal, and honestly, if there's anyone out there who is trying to find an act that is above and beyond what agency really is, then you have that exact act right there. And it was nothing short of outstanding. And like how we mentioned in the auditions, jaw dropping brilliance. And again, the acrobatics they were doing was just at an all-time high, and them doing it blindfold, the fact they added the blindfolded trick into the routine just made that element with that extra sparkle so much more incredible. Honestly, this is easily an act that deserves its own show in Vegas. I would pay good money to see them in Vegas. I think they might, honestly, after tonight, after this week at least, they might have given themselves a shot at being the ones to beat. As I know, I've mentioned how much I think Jessica Sanchez and Unreal Crew are my top two this season, which, by the way, I am going to do a podcast on that. Well, not podcast. I am going to do a little review on that. So stay tuned for that. That should be out tomorrow, hopefully, before the semi-finals. I mean, I'm hoping for Unreal Crew and Jessica to make the finals together. That is my dream. So fingers crossed, everybody. So hopefully we can be hopeful then. But back to this, I was just absolutely blown away by the whole performance. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm not even saying this. I'm not even saying it just because I like acrobatic groups or acts like that. I just think what they are capable of doing is just nothing short of jaw dropping. It really is jaw dropping what they do, and I was just blown away. I was absolutely blown away by the whole performance. Honestly, it really was just exceptional. And if I was a judge on that panel, I would have given the golden buzzer to them right there and then, which is meant. I would have easily given it to them. Him and Howie's Wilmers, which we'll talk about on later on, were the two acts I think deserved the golden buzzer the most. So I'm happy that the other one got it, but I would have loved to have seen these guys get it. But I have no doubt that they are going to be the ones to be, I think, after that. I just thought they were absolutely phenomenal. Now we have Cole Swenson and not Mamadou, and her mum and his mum, Judy. Yeah, Cole and Judy. The father and mother. So basically, Cole is basically the singer, and he has his mum accomplishing him on the cello, and then in the auditions, he performed the Viva La Vida by Coldplay, and I absolutely love that song. I think we've all heard that song many times before, and also Judy accomplished him on the cello, and it was a really, really beautiful audition. I remember having tears in my eyes watching, and it's actually one of the most viral acts of the season. I think I believe it's in second place to Jessica Sanchez. I think I'm gonna have to look that up actually. Hey, bear with me, guys. Bear with me. So just bear with me on this. I need to make sure I'm correct here because I don't want to give anyone some incorrect facts or something. Just so was it? I need to go back to the auditions now. So Jessica is at 10 million, and then Cole is at does it? Yeah, just in the lead now. Just in the lead by a slim margin of 7.1 million views. And of course, Jordan Blue is at um 7 million views. So he is just in the cusp of. So Jordan's catching up to him there in the views of YouTube. So let's talk about his performance on this week. So he performed "Birds of a Feather" by Billie Eilish. I do love that song, and he was playing the guitar, and of course Judy was on the cello with him. And can I just say, I have to say this now, you can tell how proud Judy is of her son, performing, singing. You could just see the pride on her face, and you can tell how much of a proud mum she is of his own son, of her own son. It really is just so beautiful to see this chemistry between Cole and Judy. It is absolutely just, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful to witness. But so Sophia mentioned that it was about emotion, and they were all emotional. It was beautiful. About how he was a bit critical here, he mentioned that so he mentioned he thought he think he's gonna get booed again, but to sing a love song with your mother sitting there, I didn't really agree with that. Mel mentioned that the vocals sound beautiful, but she couldn't get over the fact that that she couldn't get out of her head that she was singing a love song to his mum, which basically she agreed with Howie on that, which I don't agree with at all. And Simon mentioned it didn't cross his mind once, and he mentioned people at home are going to love him. He has a really cool voice, and the whole thing between the pair is beautiful, which I totally agree with Simon there. You could tell the chemistry between both Cole and Judy is absolutely beautiful to see. And I honestly thought he just performed it so beautifully. I think he's got such a beautiful voice, and just I actually apparently, according to their VT, this was performance was actually dedicated to their dad, to his dad actually, who passed away not too long ago. So my massive condolences go out to Cole and Judy on this. So so then dedicating it to her husband and to his dad, it's very very beautiful of them to do. So yeah, massive. Absolutely, my maddest respect are for them for doing that. And again, I love again I thought they picked a really good song choice for this, for the quarterfinals. And they made it in such a version I would not have expected to. It was such a great version, and just you can hear the emotion in his voice when he sings. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, watching him and Judy perform together is absolutely it's just absolutely amazing, and you can tell how proud Judy is of Cole. It just shows right in the performances. So massive respect to both of them, and I just think they are an amazing mother and son music duo. I think they're gonna go all over. I think after AGT they're gonna go worldwide. I think they're gonna tour. I think they're gonna do so many great things together, and I can't wait to see that happen because I think they are just absolutely amazing together. Now we go on to the worst act of the night, and I hate to say this, but Mike Munce, the bodybuilder, who, for those who don't know, he auditioned this year, but he was actually cut from the competition in the deliberations. But after Astrid, the choir leader, actually withdrew from the competition, he actually came back for the quarterfinals, which I thought was a big surprise in my opinion. So so that was that. So Mike Mans is back, so which is awesome. Good to see. It's very good to see him back here. So yeah, so let's get back to this. In the auditions, he basically did bodybuilding to kick, bass, rock and roller. Don't know what the song was to that. But this time around for the quarterfinals, he did body poses and muscle isolations to LMFAO's and I know it. If you know, if you know the word, But I like to keep things family friendly here. So if you know what I mean, you know. And also at one point, he basically had a pole, and he did this kind of like air footworks type of portion in the routine, which I thought was pretty cool. And he had Terry come out to assist him. He basically had Terry point to one of his muscles, and he'd basically flex with them, which I thought was cool. But Howie and Simon buzzed the act, but on this time around. So Simon mentioned that he loves Mike, he loves the muscles, but it wasn't an act. It was just someone taking off their clothes and walking up towards them. Mel mentioned that she disagreed. Of course, she would disagree. I, of course, with Sophia as well. I wonder why. We won't go there, anyways. But anyway, so Mel mentioned that what he does with his body is insanely talented, and maybe he needs some help with the music and the choreography. Um, but what? But she basically saw something from him that she had never seen before. Howie mentioned that he agrees with Simon. He thinks there isn't an act; it's a demonstration. But he then mentioned if you brought out your mother out and did it for her, and then I think that's kind of like a little joke towards Cole Swenson and Judy, which I thought was a bit, just it was a bit much. It was a bit much. Let's just say it was a bit much there from Howie. And then Sophia mentioned that she disagreed with the men that, and what makes his act special is the kind of the world can see it only on AGT, and of course I swear that both Sophia and Mel have a huge bias towards people with muscles. I just don't like. You saw it with Damien and Scott, the weightlifting duo, a few weeks ago. We saw that with them. Of course, they like hunky men. Of course, they do. But honestly, I think out of all the acts that could have been brought back, for the live shows. They could have, for me, they could have brought back Urban Theory, Evelyn Arante. They could have brought back Silas Luke Jones. Who else? Bill Taylor. He was probably the biggest shock for me when he got eliminated. But him, I don't know. Okay, I will say I do give him some credit for doing what he did, as it's clearly impressive what he does. But I agree with Howie and Simon on this one. It's not an act. It's not really an act. And honestly, I again, while I can appreciate what he does as an act, as what he does, I have a, a massive amount of respect to Mike. But it just wasn't. It wasn't it. I'm sorry. It wasn't it. It just wasn't. It just wasn't there this time, unfortunately. Which is my that's just my opinion. You guys will have your opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. But shout out to you, Mike. Regardless, I think you're very talented, but it just wasn't my cup of tea this time around. Now we go on to honestly probably one of my favorite solo singers of the competition that isn't a golden buzzer, Chuck Adams, who in the audition performed the Goo Goo Dolls Iris, which was probably one of my favorite auditions of the year in the singing category. I didn't get the golden buzzer because I think he made that song so different, and he just made it his absolute own, which was amazing. So this time around, he performed "Wonderwall" by Oasis, an absolute all-time classic song. Wonderwall. Oasis are an absolute fantastic band, and also they're now on tour now for their reunion. Liam Gallagher and Noel Gallagher, they're on tour now with their reunion concert all around the UK, which is absolutely fantastic. I think the first spot they did was in Cardiff, and then they did that, which was amazing. They had Richard Ashcroft opening as like the opening act, where we all know who. If you don't know who Richard Ashcroft is, he's basically the one who is part of the band The Verve, who do the Bittersweet Symphony, which I call to be the unofficial national anthem. That's because it's such a phenomenal song, and I absolutely, it's just an incredible song. But let's go back to his performance of Wonderwall. I honestly thought he absolutely nailed this performance. I love his vocals, I love his voice, and I just thought he absolutely nailed this performance. I just thought he was fantastic. So, how Sophia mentioned she was excited because he saw him two days ago at the Rose Bowl, and he made it. Well, she saw Oasis 2 days ago, and he made it his own. And Mel mentioned that she could feel his presence and his heart and his soul. It was flawless and brilliant. Howie mentioned that he thought he was really good, but that he's got the whole package. He's got the good look. He's got a great vibe and everything. But mentioned he just wanted more excitement. And then Simon mentioned that he actually liked the song choice, and he really liked and respects him. He went back on his feet, and he could tell that he was nervous, but he was hoping America would give him another shot. And honestly, I absolutely love this guy's voice. I think it was a very unexpected song choice for him to do, but man, did I thought he delivered on this performance. It was just so it just took my breath away because his in the audition he really blew me away with the Goo Goo Dolls where he made it you know his very own. But this time around, him doing the Wonderwall Oasis, absolutely fantastic song by a fantastic group. I just thought he absolutely nailed it. I love his voice. And what I love about him is that he is one of those singers that could definitely take a song, whenever you're hearing it, and he can make it his own within a split second. And it's just amazing. I just think he's so unbelievably talented. He is someone I already know is going to have a huge career after the show. I just think he's absolutely phenomenal. I'm yeah, I just think he's absolutely brilliant. I love his voice. I love his presence. I love his look. He just gives real star quality, and I really mean that. He truly has this star glow about him, and it's nothing short of amazing. So I love this performance, and I really do hope that after the show, he has a huge career ahead of him. Now we go on to one of two of Terry's golden buzzers this year. Be the first one being the Funketeer Dancers, who are a dance group who were founded in 1976, and they competed in a talent show. They originally had five members, but one of them passed away a few years ago. Um, so Yeah, so that was that, and then basically they in the auditions they danced to Rick James' "Give It to Me, Baby." I love that song, and that was Terry's Golden Buzzer. Where Simon even said that it was supposed to be his Golden Buzzer. He mentioned in interviews that he was just about to when Terry came up to the judging panel exactly when he was just about to press the Golden Buzzer for them. And honestly, I was going to say like that's definitely a Simon Cowell Golden Buzzer he would give it to as well. So this time around, they did a dance routine to Shaka Khan's "I Feel for You." Great song by the brilliant Shaka Khan. And I don't know about you, but these guys just bring the biggest smile to my face when I watch them. So, and seeing they've got very colourful shirts on now. One of them got purple, green, yellow, orange, and so they did some robotic moves, and it just showed their individual personalities, which was amazing. Howie mentioned that they are pure joy, and it's a good feeling that they make him so proud. Mel mentioned that old school never fails. They killed it up there. Sophia mentioned it was amazing that she could imagine because she knows that they've been together since high school. And Simon mentioned they love them because how they make us feel talented, that they're fun, their friendship's amazing, and he mentioned that it's one of his favorite acts. And honestly, I could not agree more with the judges on this one because honestly, their first audition just gave me the biggest smile on my face when I saw them because you could just tell they were having so much fun on there, and they were dancing, and I just remember grinning from ear to ear watching their performance. It just brought the biggest smile to my face when I was watching it, and just I don't care what people say because at the end of the day, age is nothing but a number. Literally, it's nothing but a number. And honestly, again, I don't know why these guys just give me the biggest amount of joy when I watch them. Like it's pure happiness seeing all these men doing what they do together. Is nothing short of respect for all four of them. And you could just tell they're having the best time on stage together. And overall, I do think they are a decent dance group. The song choice again was really good for the routine, and you know, and you know, again, if there's anyone out there who's having a bad day today, please go ahead and watch the Fungated Dancers. They will bring you the biggest smile to your face within about a few seconds. So, honestly, again, I don't I don't mind what people say about them. If you don't like them, that's fine. But I just can't help but love these guys. I just think they're so much fun. And again, they just bring the biggest smile to my face when I watch them. I just love them. I absolutely love them. I can't say that enough, but I love everything about this whole group. I just thought they were so good. I love them. I absolutely love them. And now we go on to Terry's second golden buzzer of the night, which was the country group for the Boykins, who in the auditions, if we can get them up, they performed their original song called "Fell in Love with a Cowboy," which got the golden buzzer from Terry. And they were, I believe they are they sisters? Their siblings. Their siblings. They're all siblings. And they were on, of course, they were on the I think the Kelly Clarkson show. If I can find them. Um, were they on the Kelly Clarkson show? Yeah, they were. They made appearance twice on the show. So so okay, so basically, so in the audition, like I mentioned, they performed "To Fell in Love with a Cowboy," and they got the Golden Buzzer from Terry, which I was very happy about. They very much deserved it. But so this time around, they did an original song called "Girls' Night," and basically they were doing singing in there, and I believe um and they had the country still, but they added more hip hop to the song, which I thought was very clever. I liked that little bit of hip hop in there. I believe one of them did a bit of a rap in there, which was very awesome. So Sophia mentioned that they were beautiful up there. The voices were beautiful, the energy, the hard work. That even though she liked the audition more, it felt a bit more organic. Mel mentioned one of the strongest things that they have going for them is when you harmonize and it blends like magic. She didn't hear any of your harmonies tonight, or she didn't hear enough of the harmonies tonight, but she thought that they did good still. Howie mentioned that he agrees with everyone out there saying, but again, he wants to see someone step it up and act like and win it. He thought the audition was better from what they saw this week. Simon mentioned that they have a style glow about them, and he doesn't think the track itself is working. He felt a few times we had acts who didn't quite top the auditions, and it's actually true because I think there were a few acts this week that I didn't think were at the same standard as the audition, which of course was a huge shame. A few, but I honestly thought they stepped it up. I thought they really stepped it up from the last time, to be honest, because as you guys know, I love country music. I love this group in general. The boy, I just think they're so talented, and honestly, I love the whole performance. Of them. I think they've got great harmonies. They've got great vocals together. But also, what I think I loved about this performance was not only they had the country still to it, but they added some hip hop, some rapping into the mix of the performance, which I thought was really, really good as well. So, I just really like groups. It's like country groups like this that I'm gonna remember, and I am gonna remember this group until the day that I forget, to be honest, because honestly, these girls, I just think are ridiculously talented. I loved everything about the whole performance. I thought that, and they just get the party going every single time they perform, and it's amazing. And I'm definitely going to be listening to more of their music after the show. So I just thought they were. Honestly, I thought, excuse me, but I honestly thought they really stepped it up from the first time round. So I thought they really massively stepped it up from the audition stages, which was awesome. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say other than I absolutely loved their performance this time around. It was fantastic. Now we go on to another act who I loved as well, but the judges didn't for this week, which I was shocked about, and that was Gendai, the Japanese laser act, who is from Japan. So he's from Tokyo, Japan, and in excuse me. So in the audition, he did a laser routine to Bonnie Tyler's "Holding Out for a Hero," with him doing lasers, which Mel B said no to him, which I thought was mental because I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I just thought he was brilliant in the auditions. And this time, in the for the quarterfinals, he did a laser and dance routine to EDM's version of Gene Kelly's "Singing in the Rain," which is the movie Gene Kelly was in when in the movie of the same song title, and there he basically let me find the stuff here. So basically, he did a remix of "Singing in the Rain" to tell a story of a lonely kind of guy dancing with his strobe light stage, and he had an umbrella there in the dance routine. But let me tell you, the judges were extremely critical of him this time round. So Mel mentioned last time that she was a bit confused, but this time he made it very clear what he was going. Visually looked beautiful, but she just didn't think how far it could be bigger or better. Disagreed. Sophia mentioned it was a great concept, super entertaining. She didn't know if she could watch an hour or two of a show of that. Okay, at least she complimented it. But this is where it gets really juicy because Harry mentioned that he doesn't know if there was a step up from what he did in the auditions, and he didn't think it was a winning performance. And Simon mentioned that it was gimmicky and the track was horrible. And I'm like, what judges, are you out of your minds? Like, how I'm sorry, but I totally, and I mean totally, disagree on what they were saying about this because I thought he once again blew me away with this performance. I was just left mesmerized with the whole performance. I don't understand what the judges are thinking. They have to be out of their minds or something. Like they must not be seeing the same thing as I was or the other people watching. As I just thought he was absolutely amazing. It was brilliant. And the way he does this routine, is nothing short of incredible. The way he involves the lasers and the dancing is incredible. I just love the way he uses the whole stage and just the way he takes command of it. It's just incredible. And I totally disagree with what the judges said here. I also thought he really stepped up his game from the auditions, and I just think the judges are talking absolute madness on this. The track was not horrible. The track was not horrible. It didn't feel gimmicky at all. And just I thought he stepped up from the first time around. I honestly thought he did. And I still can't get over the fact that that Mel B said no to him in the audition. I still can't get my head around that, to be honest. So that's that. I'm still flabbergasted on how she said no to him in the auditions. I really am, but you know, that's classic Mel B for you folks. Classic Mel B from Leeds, because she's from Leeds, I think. But I don't want to start hating Mel B at this rate but sometimes when she says no to some acts that are really good, it really bugs me. But anyways, let's go on to Howie's golden buzzer now, which was for Team Recycled. And let me tell you, this is by far the best golden buzzer for the quarterfinals we've seen this season. It really was. And let me tell you, if I had to make a description on what I think is the most improved act of the season, these guys take the cake right there. So let's talk about their audition now. So in their audition, they basically did a dance routine on stage and both in the audience where they were doing the dance routine in the audience where they were sitting down, and then they dimmed the lights and they basically did the dance routine holding glow torches in the dark and doing the routine, which was exceptional. I remember I was just blown away by the whole performance when I first saw it in the audition. It really was phenomenal. And BMLB mentioned it felt like it was boring. It just she said no to them, which I can't get for the life of me that she said no to them because I totally disagree why she said no because I thought their audition was absolutely phenomenal. But let's talk about their quarterfinal performance right now because I honestly have less than no words to describe. So basically, the judges had to turn around for their performance to catch basically the large dance group taking over the seats in the audience for an epic, and I mean this was an epic display of synchronized movements, including glowing fan. There was there's like the fans you see in Spain, the little. I kind of what was that noise I made? They kind of like the fans you see in Spain, and then like you do the fan like you know what I mean, like you see in Spain like you down on summer's day, but they did that with every single dancer, and and there's one in the middle doing everything, and then the thumping of the music choice was phenomenal, and and then also they had the glow sticks back again to end off the performance. And let me tell you, this was above and beyond to what I've seen this season, as especially on this week. This was out of this world. And how he mentioned that he was looking for an act that would step it up. He was looking for an act that could possibly win the thing, and he thought to himself, could they do that? And the answer was yes, and that is when he smacked the golden buzzer, meaning they are through to the final. And honestly, I could not be more happier for them because I just thought they were absolutely outstanding. Like this is what I call a golden buzzer, which is an act with pure raw talent like these guys, and they absolutely slayed this performance. Like, I mean, their audition, I was absolutely blown away by when I first saw it. All those weeks back. And I just could not wait for them to make a return. Hopefully, prove Mel B wrong, which they did, and even Mel B came up to see them, and she was like going mental as well over them, which was a great sign to see. Mel B finally getting proven wrong, which was absolutely awesome sauce. And just honestly, this was in a different league to what I've seen from them. The choreography was sensational. The way they used the theatre to their performance was incredible. And again, the way they include the lights, the glow sticks, the fans that were lighting up was absolutely just pure and utter brilliant. Honestly, if again, if I had to name an act that I think is the most improved of this season, it's these guys. It really is. They were absolutely outstanding. It really was just incredible. And I'm honestly so happy they're in the final because now I have at least one act for my early picks and predictions and my tier maker that I have at the final now. So hopefully I can get the rest, at least a few more in before the season, before we get to the finals next in a few weeks. So I'm hoping for that to happen soon. So yeah, I'm very much hoping for that. At least I am very much hoping for Unreal Crew to make the honestly to see both Unreal Crew and them make it through to the final together would be incredible. And I believe or Team Recycle posted on their Instagram story that with Unreal Crew they mentioned that they were that they mentioned that they were looking at the upcoming finalists, which were Unreal Crew. So it looks like they could be pushing for them to be in the final, which I would be absolutely delighted if that were to happen. But I mean, this is what I call a performance. Like this is golden. Like this is beyond golden buzzer in my opinion. This is like platinum golden buzzer, diamond golden buzzer, triple buzzer. I don't know what I'm talking about that now. Like, what's like? I'm gonna call it a out of this. I'm gonna make a word up now called out of this world golden buzzer. It's basically multicolored, and then you press it. It says it's just out of this world. That's what this buzzer. The only way I can describe this performance as it was out of this world. It really was. I'm so happy they got they got the golden buzzer. It was so well deserved, and I cannot wait to see what they bring in the final in a few weeks' time. So well deserved. And now we've got the final act to talk about, which was the Birmingham Youth Choir, who in the auditions, they performed. What song did they perform in the auditions? And they were Simon's second golden buzzer of the season. And they performed. What did they perform? They performed Joyful, which is from Sister Act, and then Voices of Fire featuring Pharrell Williams. Joy, which is I didn't know the song they were doing there in the auditions, unfortunately. And they got Simon's Gone Buzzer in week 6, I believe, which I thought they were fine. I thought they were decent Golden Buzzer. It wasn't my absolute favourite, but it was still solid. But this time around, I thought they massively stepped up their game. So so their performance this week had them doing Fatboy Slim's "Praise You," a song I've never heard before. And it was honestly, I thought they were fantastic. So they basically did, they not only had their gospel elements added in, some well placed solo moments as well, and the choreography brought the house down, and also the energy in the room was absolutely fantastic. Sophia mentioned that it was a good moment to end off the show, and it was so clever what they did with the song. They didn't disappoint. Excuse me. Just sneezed there. Sorry about that. Mel mentioned that she just wanted Mel mentioned that she just wanted to say that they took her down the street and they took me into a garage, up the stairs, down the stairs, and to church as well. And Howie mentioned that he had been healed. I think everybody had been healed, even if you're not. church. If you're not, even if you're not, even if you don't go to church, I felt like I was listening to a church performance. That's how good this performance was. And someone mentioned it was fantastic. They called it called lighting up the room, lighting up the sky. A great choir, and it was a big step up, and everyone played the part. And I agree with what all the judges said here. It was a huge, and I mean a huge step up from the auditions um, from the first time round. Because as you guys know, I am a bit picky on choirs when they come on the show, but they really stepped up their game from this time around. And I love the way they changed, into the up tempo, into and just the solo singing. I thought was great. The choreography is fantastic. Everyone, you can tell, was having the time of their life. And just overall, it was an absolute humongous step up from the auditions. I thought they were fantastic. I absolutely loved this performance, and I just thought, again, I just thought they were just superb. Watching this, I absolutely loved them. I think they've really started to grow on me now. I think them and the Leo High School Choir this season have really grown on me this year. So massive congrats to them. So that's absolutely amazing. So honestly, I loved this performance. I loved the way everyone sounded. The solos were fantastic, and overall, you could just tell everybody was having the best time up there, which was awesome, absolutely awesome, and they really were just a massive, massive progression from the auditions. So a great, great performance, and a great way to end off the night. Now we go on to the results on who made the last three spots in the semi-finals, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, this was when Terry announced that Mastermind had withdrawn from the competition. I don't know when if we will get a replacement for him. I'm hoping we do, because I would love to see someone like the Masaudi brothers come back and hopefully do it or take their place. But you know, we'll find out in a few days' time. But anyway, so the top five this week were the Birmingham Youth Choir, TT Boys, Zach Mears, Chuck Adams, and the Funketeer Dancers. And honestly, I was actually a bit surprised with these results, because I thought Gendai should have been in the top five, and I know I'm being biased here, but I thought the Boykins deserved a place in the top five. That's just me. That's probably just my opinion. People might disagree here, but that's okay. So the first act that made it through to the semi-finals was no surprise, none other than the TT Boys, which was so well deserved. For me, they were the best act of the night, and I just thought they were absolutely exceptional. And to be honest with you, with the semi-final golden buzzer in play this year, I could see them get it, actually, to be honest, if they step up once again. I think they definitely could be ones to make the final now after their performance. Next up, the second act to make it through to the semi-finals, which honestly surprised me a little bit on this one. Zach Mears made it through to the semi, so which kind of shocked me a little bit. So yeah, but now we have a magician now in the semi-finals now. Originally we had a mastermind there, but now we just have Zach, which is very awesome. I am kind of hoping that we don't have another Dustin Tavella situation, though, if you know what I mean. But I don't want to send any hate. I don't want to send any hate, of course, to Zach, because I think I actually really enjoyed his performance, and I'm happy he's made it through. And then we have the third and final act between the Birmingham Youth Choir, Funketeer Dancers, and Chuck Adams. And if I'm honest with you guys, I was kind of hoping for Chuck Adams to make it through, but no surprise, it was the Birmingham Youth Choir that made it through. And honestly, for this, I can't complain that they made it through, because I actually thought they really stepped up from the auditions. I thought they were overall really fantastic. I loved their audition, but I liked their audition, but I loved their performance this week, and it was a huge progression. And honestly, I don't have any complaints with them that they are moving on to the semi-finals. I really don't, because now we have two choirs now in the semis, being the Birmingham Youth Choir and the Leo High School Choir. So it's going to be very interesting to see which choir can make it the furthest. So that's something to look out for. So, but overall, I think America made a good choice for the results. I think Zach is still a bit 50-50 on me, but I'm not complaining overall of this week's results. And the Golden Buzzer was a phenomenal choice from Howie. So that is it for the recap for quarterfinals 4 of America's Got Talent season 20. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your thoughts on the episode as a whole. And next week it is the semi-finals, everybody. I am so looking forward to this. We have the 11 acts competing. We have Lightwire, Psycho Maria, Jordan Blue, Unreal Crew, Bay Melnick, the Little High School Choir, Chris Turner, Jessica Sanchez, TT Boys, Zach Mears, and the Birmingham Youth Choir. What a lineup we have for the semi-finals next week. It looks superb. I cannot wait for this. But I'd love to hear. So, who do you think will get the golden buzzer for the semi-finals, and who do you think will make the 6 spots in the final? Because apparently there are 11 spots for the final at this year, but now with Mastermind gone, I mean, on the Future Critic, it still says 11 acts. So we're going to stick with that. For now, we're going to say 11 acts. And if there's any changes, I'll just let you guys know if we have any updates. I do think that we will get 11 acts in the final this year. Because of course the Future Critic says that, of course. So we'll find out. Hopefully find out some information sooner, and hopefully we get maybe a replacement for Mastermind within the next few days. But who do you think will make it through to the final, and who do you think will get the golden buzzer? So here are my predictions. So my early predictions, who I think will get the golden buzzer. I honestly think, and I'm not just saying this, but I think Jessica Sanchez will get the golden buzzer again, especially because I mean, her performance in the quarterfinals was outstanding, probably the best performance of the season. And Simon mentioned with the right song when she comes back, she could be the one to beat. And I honestly could easily see her getting the group golden buzzer for the semi-finals next week. Which for now, I'm going to say that for now, and I would not be surprised if she did get it again. Then for I think we'll get the 6 spots in the semi-finals, I think it will be Unreal Crew, Lightwire, Jordan Blue, the TT Boys, Psycho Maria, and the Little High School Choir. And what's interesting, because had Mastermind not withdrawn from the competition, my predictions was actually Jessica Sanchez, the golden buzzer. Then the other 6 were Unreal Crew, Lightwire, Jordan Blue, TT Boys, Mastermind, and then the Little High School Choir. But I mean, Zach maybe could be the dark horse to make the final. I don't know, but I we'll find out on Tuesday night what happens, but I cannot wait for the semi-finals. I just think it's going to be great, and hopefully we get the acts I'm hoping for, especially the 2 acts who are on this week to make it through, because that is potentially my top 2 this season. So please stay tuned for one of my upcoming videos I'm going to do hopefully soon. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe with post notification turned on. I would really appreciate that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video, and of course, I will see you guys next time.